Welcome to the podcast. Y'all ask, what I'ma talk about with y'all ass? Everything from Nostradamus, Lil Pump, all the way down to Donald Trump. But black issues will be always at the forefront. Hoodies, I know that's just what y'all want. Black life, black love, all of the above. It's King Rashidi hoodies, ice toner gloves. I'm ready, it's Rise God Team. Rest in peace to the God Queens. Hey.
Yerp, Wagwan, Yerp. Want to welcome you all back to another dope ass episode of Hoodies the Podcast. I'm your host King Rashidi, and we back up in this bitch. Real quick, y'all know the drill. Shout out to the Skill Youth Chess Clubs, the mentoring program specifically designed for black boys. If you've been following my Instagram and you saw the last podcast, then you know that the Skill Youth Chess Club is planning a field trip to the National Museum of African American History and Culture. That's to join up in D.C. We need a charter bus. Well, we got a charter bus. We just need $2,000 for the guys to take us there, let us do our thing, and then bring us back, and then stop and grab something to eat on the way back. That's about $2,000. I want to thank everybody who's already donated. Your donations are greatly appreciated. I greatly appreciate that. I'm humbled. Thank you. And for those of you who have plans on donating, I thank you all in advance. For all of you who's been buying incense, and tomorrow I'm going to get like the candy bars and all of that to also support this fundraiser for the field trip. So again, for all of you who's donated, I appreciate that from the bottom of my heart. And I thank you for your mentorship. Thank you for your donation and the mentorship of black boys. And those of you who have plans on donating, I thank you in advance as well for your donation toward the mentorship of black boys. If you want to make a donation, right, and you haven't heard it, you've been somewhere under a rock, or just simply ain't been checking this joint out, it's cash.me/$SkillYCC. All right, again, that's cash.me/$SkillYCC. All right, so thank you in advance for your donation. Shout out also to the parents who continue to encourage me, who respect the plight, who are excited for the growth of the Skill Youth Chess Club. And I got to admit, I'm not necessarily sure why some of the parents haven't joined or volunteered or given their time, because some of them are decent in chess. I know they are, because they taught their kid. So, yeah. But, hey, such is life. Thank you all in advance for your donation, and thank you, parents, for your encouragement. Also, before we get into this thing, shout out to the elders and the ancestors, and shout out to black folk everywhere. Word up. Word. It's important that we celebrate each other, man. It's important that we celebrate black culture, not just Black History Month. Black History Month is fake anyway. It's just fat. I mean, it's real, but Black History Month is every month. Just like Mother's Day, Father's Day, and that bogus holiday, Valentine's Day. Every day is such. Remember that. That's every day. All right, so y'all ready to get into this thing? I'm making good time. Check it. Everybody by now is aware of the passing of Kobe Bryant, right? So I'm not going to get too deep into that because I'm not going to be saying nothing that hasn't already been said. And then not to mention there were other passengers as well. One including his daughter. So yeah, rest in peace to Kobe Bryant. I got to admit, when I first heard the news, I was extremely saddened. Very sad. A tear even fell. Be real with you. But I can't stay there. So, as much as I was saddened, and I'm still saddened to a degree, if anything, I'm now inspired. And it's got me also thinking about legacy. You know what I'm saying? Who do I want to be remembered as? What do I want to be remembered as? You know what I mean? I started thinking, if I tipped over today, what would people say about me? And that's a question we all should ask, right? If you tipped over today, what do you think you would be remembered as? You know what I'm saying? I would say that if the life that you live in right now is not conducive to the legacy that you wish to leave, then it behooves you to switch it up. And when I talk to y'all, I'm talking to myself. You know what I'm saying? If you don't know where to start, you already know what I'm going to say. Meditate on it. And trust me, you'll figure it out. You just might get to know yourself in the process. You just might become persistent at something. You'll become more persistent at something because you're starting to develop some sort of faith in yourself. Otherwise, why would you be persistent at something that you know you can't do? You know what I'm saying? You wouldn't be persistent if you didn't think you could do something. Right? So apparently you do have a certain belief in yourself, enough faith in yourself to go through with it, right? So start there. Dig deep. Meditate, man. And figure out, what do you want to do? What you want to be remembered as. Meditate on it. Manifest that shit. And take it from there. The tragedy of Kobe and his daughter has left me inspired. You know, it really has. It has me really inspired. It has me really inspired to be grateful, to be thankful for all the little things that I often take for granted. You know what I'm saying? And if there's anything that you want to say or anything I want to say, I'll make sure that I say it. If there's anything that I want to do, I'm going to do that shit. And I would give that same advice to y'all. Whatever you want to do it. Somebody you want to talk to or something you need to get off your chest, a conversation that needs to be had, have the conversation, man. Have the motherfucking conversation. Because if you tipped over tomorrow, you just going to be remembered as the dude or the female who bitched up and didn't make that move. Yeah, and it also had me also thinking about my diet. And of course, I'm not necessarily talking about food. I am, because there's things I can still do to improve my diet. But as I said before, diet is not exclusive to food. You know what I'm saying? It's the shit that we allow to creep up in our minds. It's the shit that we shed light on that doesn't even deserve it. You know? There's people who, even when you've helped them and looked out for them and did the best you could to help, I guess, be a good gardener and water them so that they can move forward and be successful, and then they still turn around and say some fuck shit or do some fuck shit, I'm just not tolerating it. It's what we all feel anyway, but we deal with it because I don't want people to do. I don't want fuck that. Okay? Life is short. You ain't got to put up with that shit. You better than that. And so are they. They're just, for whatever reasons, they're in their feelings or just in a bad space. Right? So I'm very, very concerned, as usual, about my diet. And thinking about Kobe's passing has me turning that up a notch as well. If it's whatever it is, if it's not conducive to my peace, if it's not conducive to some sort of growth, I'm not interested in it. I can't give it light. I just can't. I won't. You feel me? Meditate and think about what type of legacy you want to leave. And think about whether or not your lifestyle or the way you think or the way you eat is even conducive to the legacy in which you in which you desire to leave. You know what I'm saying? Think about it. Word. Okay, Black History Month. This is February. It's on the ass end of it. Black History Month, right? Black History Month, I said it in a podcast before, I think in some of the audios. Black History Month was started and founded by good brother Carter G. Woodson. I can't remember the year. That's also important for us to do our own research. But Carter G. Woodson started what was called Black History Week, right? And over time, it morphed into Black History Month. It's bullshit that it's the shortest month of the year. But the good thing about it is that Black History Month is every month. It's every month. 365 days a year. 24/7. That's Black history. Okay? So yeah, like I said, do your own research. about because the TV is fucking lying. The TV is lying. They're lying and giving out half truths. For example, take Jesse Owens for example, right? I don't know if any of you have seen that movie called Race. If you haven't, check it out. It's a dope film, right? Jesse Owens broke barriers in the Olympics, just much like Ali, right? And much like Ali, also couldn't get no respect on American soil. Jesse Owens became almost clown-like, not saying he was a clown, but he became clown-like once he got back here in America, in the States. He couldn't get work and was, for the most part, forced to race horses. He was so fast and nobody could beat him, they had him racing horses at certain events and circuses just to make ends meet. Imagine that. Imagine you go win a medal on behalf of the country that you live in, and in return, because they don't fuck with your skin color or your ancestry, they won't even give you work. Think about that. Like I said, all the particulars, do your own research. And once again, I'm going to keep hitting y'all in the head with it. I'm going to beat you in the head with it. Black History Month is every month. Okay? And please note that the civil rights movement is not the same as the gay movement. And notice I'm saying gay movement because I don't even know the alphabets anymore. LBGTQ or whatever. And I know I just messed that up, but I don't even know it anymore. But it's a gay movement, right? And like I said, the gay movement and the civil rights movement are not the same. It's not the same. And anybody who tells you that is extremely uninformed and or most likely gay themselves. And if you gay, you gay. That's on you. But please don't confuse the two. The black civil rights movement and the gay movement is not one and the same. You can go through life and conceal your sexuality, and nobody would ever know unless you told them. Or unless someone who you did tell told them, right? You go all through life, go to school or whatever you choose to do, and for the most part, if you play your cards right, come out successful, right? You can conceal it. You can hide it. You can withhold that information. But if you black, you can't hide that. I can't hide this. I can't say that I'm anything else but this. The movement is not the same. It's not the same. And don't get me wrong. I'm sure that as a homosexual, I'm sure that all of you deal with a certain level of discrimination, and there is a plight. I'm sure. I'm not denying that. And although I do not condone the lifestyle, I don't think anything foul or bad should happen to those who are homosexual, right? However, like I just said, the gay movement and the black civil rights movement is not the same. Not the same. It's not. So y'all can kiss my ass with that if that's what you think it is. Tell that shit to somebody else. And also, something else that we also need to be mindful about, right? We need to be careful of the conversations that we have with children in terms of sexuality. I've seen videos of full-on grown men dressed in drag teaching children about transgender, I'm assuming. It's all gay. It's, to me, transgender, trans, whatever, is just gay. There's levels to that shit from where I'm standing, and to be a tranny is just another level of it. From what I understand, a transgender is someone who can be a male but identifies as a female, right? So if you're a boy, I'm assuming that means you identify with being a girl or a woman, and vice versa. You can be a girl who identifies with being a boy or a man, right? So I'm saying that to say that along with seeing several videos of children being taught about homosexuality and transgender and this, that, and the third. And I believe that children are just too young. Small school children are too young for that. They're too young to be talking about any type of sexuality, right? So that's real crazy. Like, what do children 3 and 4 and 5 know about sex? let alone what it means to be a transgender. Um, so for a transgender boy who identifies with being a female, oh man, what does a 12-year-old boy know about being a girl or a woman for that matter? You know what I'm saying? What does a 12-year-old boy or what does an 8-year-old boy or a young child, 5 or 6 or 7, know about being a man, let alone a female? You can't tell me that there's no agenda. Because the lines are starting to get really fucking, not with me, but I'm peeping game and I'm seeing how the lines are being blurred here. They're being blurred, and you're confusing these kids with conversations that they have no business being a part of. So now that forces me, being a mentor, and someone who, like, I'm like through with adults, man. I'm fucking through with adults, which is why I focus on the youth. Adults are fucking stupid. Just keep it real. Adults are fucking stupid. Most adults are devoid of logic due to religion and past hurts and addictions. And like I said, most of them are probably gay or whatever themselves. And that seems to cloud their vision. And they cannot see the logic. You understand? So that forces an individual like myself to have these conversations with kids who aren't necessarily ready for it. I have to break them in and let them know right off rip. Okay? You have a right to be a kid. You have a right to tell an adult, look, I'm a child and I don't need to be hearing this. I don't need to hear this. So we got to teach them. Teach them. Teach these kids that it's, yes, sure, it's okay for you being you. It's okay. It's all right. You can be you. But I don't think sexuality should be forced on them. I don't think they should be learning about homosexuality at elementary school level. That's just where I am with it. Stop trying to make these kids think that this shit is fucking normal. Because if it was, 2 men would be able to produce a child. 2 women would be able to produce a child. And they can't. Now you can talk about how natural it is, but at the end of the day, 2 women need a man's sperm. Whether it's, through insemination or whatever, you still need a man's sperm. You still need the seed of a man to be planted in your soil to grow life. Same thing with men. You're going to need a woman. So it's just not the same. And we need to be careful with these children. I don't want to touch too much on a D Wade thing. I almost let the cat out the bag or whatever by saying 12 years old, because that's how old D Wade's son is, 12 years old. And I can only imagine how hard it must be for him. It can't be easy, right, to have your son be gay. I'm a father myself. You know what I mean? And truth be told, of course I'll still love my son. Definitely. But I believe there was talks of his 12-year-old son wanting a sex change. I could be wrong. But I think I'm right. Now that I have a problem with. I got a big problem with that. I don't think a 12-year-old should be allowed to make such decisions. That's a major motherfucking decision. And just like drinking or whatever the case is, or listen, you're 12. If you're my kid, you're 12, right? Whatever you want to do once you leave my home and get a full-on sex change, you do that shit when you're an adult. Under my roof, you're going to keep your dick and balls. You're keeping your dick and balls under this roof. It was brought to my attention that, if you don't do that, your kid will hate you, get depressed, and want to kill themselves. Whoa. Skirt. If a child starts to feel suicidal and falls into a state of depression because you told them no, there's some other shit going on. There's some other things going on that need to be addressed. 12 years old, you're not even a teenager yet. You probably haven't even hit puberty yet. well, you're more likely to have hit puberty if you're a female, but not necessarily as a male. 12 years old is just way too motherfucking young to be making those type of decisions. It's just too young. And once again, anybody who says that it's not too young or whatever is confused or gay themselves. You know what I mean? And a lot of times, the bubble that we live in can have us blurring lines. I like to look at the logic of situations. And it's just not logical for a 12-year-old boy to get a sex change. It's just not. And like I said, I'm not going to dwell on it. Because I hear a lot of woke individuals saying that D. Wade, he failed as a father. I don't necessarily know if I can co-sign something like that. And once again, some of you woke folk sound just like Christians and religious people. Like, y'all say things that are devoid of logic. It's like y'all take out the human element. Because like I said, I can only imagine how embarrassed D. Wade must have felt at first. I'm sure he's gone through a plethora of emotions. Embarrassment, maybe some shame. And I'm sure, as you've seen him talk on TV and talk openly about his son's sexuality, I don't know, but I'm guessing his son's 12, right? Which means he didn't just come out the closet yesterday or a month ago or even a year ago. I don't know, maybe, but I doubt it. So I'm assuming that the family has had time to get some group therapy, for the whole family. I'm sure Brother Wade has had some time to get some therapy for himself, because not only is his son gay, but he wants to be called her and she. It has even changed her name. That can't be easy to deal with. At least from where I'm sitting. It can't be easy to deal with. It just can't. I would love my son, like I said. I would love all my sons, like I said. Sons, grandson, granddaughter, whatever. Even family members. I would love y'all anyway. However, like I said, that can't be easy to deal with. So I'm not gonna say that he failed as a father. There were times in my kids' lives, my son's lives, when I wasn't necessarily present. There was a spell when I wasn't doing so well. I wasn't doing so good. I was having a little bit of difficulty taking care of myself. So I couldn't be there with my kids or for my kids in a way that they wanted or the way I wanted, for that matter. Not to mention, they were out of state for a decent portion. So if one of my sons ended up gay, sure, you could say I failed as a father. I mean, granted, I've always been a phone call away. I just don't know if I can say that he failed as a father. I can say that somehow, some way, the child was influenced, in a number of ways. Influenced, I don't know. We don't know if his son was violated. If he was not violated, he had to have been influenced. And influenced, that could be television, social media, his peers. Shit, did a trainee go by his school and teach, and talk to them about? I don't know. We don't know what led a 12-year-old kid, and like I said, I'm assuming that he knew he was gay before that. So we don't know what led to that. We don't know. So I don't know if I could say that he failed as a father. Or could that be me being in my own bubble that maybe he did? I don't know. Because to say that means that, listen, I don't know how much time he spent with his kid. See, there's a whole lot of loopholes here. I don't know how much time he spent with his kid to say that he failed as a father. In fact, none of us know. We're all speculating. But if you're going to say something like that, check your own situation with your own children, right? Yeah, and make sure you have children, because if you don't, it's it's so easy to say something like that. So I don't know if I can say that he failed as a father. I don't know. I will definitely say that it can't be easy, and I'm gonna leave it like that. It can't be easy, and no, I do not condone the lifestyle. I do not. However, I get that it's something that I don't understand, and I get that it's something that I don't have to condone. I do have to accept the fact that homosexuality is something that's very real, and yeah, and just because a person doesn't condone the lifestyle doesn't mean that I think some harm or something bad should happen to those who are homosexuals. Yeah, but I'm pro heterosexual, and I'm gonna stay that way. That's pretty much it, man. Black History Month, like I said, Black History Month is every month. Every year there's the same coverage of Brother Martin and Harriet, and you know, Black history is being made every day. And I tend to a lot of times focus on our brothers and sisters whom people don't like to celebrate, like Floyd Mayweather, for example. You know what I mean? He caught a little flack for saying that he felt as though he's athlete of the decade and not LeBron James. I, for one, happen to agree with Floyd Mayweather 100%. I, for one, don't understand how it's even a debate. You know? I mean, I just don't get it. We're talking about a brother who he is an exceptional fighter, undefeated, who was signed the top rank, bought himself out of his contract, and went on to be to bring in the biggest numbers in pay-per-view. I mean, damn. And the thing is, he basically showing everybody how to do it, but everybody's stuck on him flashing money. And a lot of people see that as being cocky or stupid or whatever. I don't see it that way. I see it as the blueprint, or as he would call it, the green print. You know, okay, you're a boxer. I'm going to buy myself out of my contract and promote myself. I don't understand. How can you not respect that? How can you not respect a self-made athlete? I don't get it. He's not promoting drugs, gang violence, like a lot of our beloved rappers do. He's drug and alcohol free. Like I said, undefeated. And he works for himself. Me personally, I think people should get over themselves and pay attention to the lesson that he's taught everybody. And get over yourself because you aren't as successful as he is. I vote for Mayweather for Athlete of the Decade. In fact, here on the Hoodies, the podcast, Floyd Mayweather is Athlete of the Decade. Much love to LeBron James, but I'm giving the award to Money Mayweather. Word. Speaking of Money Mayweather, I gotta admit, this past weekend, I was, the loss, Deontay Wilder losing to Tyson Fury, really had me fucked up for a minute. And I kept thinking to myself, why? I mean, granted, in every fight I always root for the brother. I don't give a fuck if I know the brother's gonna lose. I root for the brother. I'll be like, yo, this nigga gonna get knocked the fuck out. But I'm rocking with the brother, right? And then it dawned on me. The reason why I feel away about Deontay Wilder losing the way in which he did, I mean, the fucking third round, man. Wow. I was just in shock. But the reason why it bothered me, well, no, I'm not saying he lost in the third round, but that's when he hit the canvas. And I think it lasted to, the seventh round? Me personally, I think his corner should have threw in the towel before that. I think he should get a new team. He either needs a new team, or once he got hit, he just deviated from everything he was taught. I'm going to say he needs a new team. I'm going to say that. But I hope he's well. and I hope he finds his way back to the top again. Anyway, I was saying that the reason why that loss stung so much is because once again of Floyd Mayweather. I said it. Floyd Mayweather set such a high standard. He set such a high fucking standard to that anything less than that, I'm disappointed. Anything less than that, I'm like, for real? Really? And it's probably not fair to fighters like Bronner and Anthony Joshua and Deontay Wilder. Floyd Mayweather's just the GOAT. And I be going into these fights, well, not me, but I go into it mentally thinking that the same level of black excellence will be displayed with the next brother. And it's not necessarily true. In fact, it's not. It's been proven time and time again. But anyway, shout out to the plight of all of our people who don't get celebrated in Black History Month or in Black History period. Once again, Black History Month is every month. Every month. You know what I'm saying? So shout out to Fred Hampton and Mark Clark. Shout out to Khalid Muhammad. Shout out to Malcolm. Shout out to Jesse Owens, if I haven't said that again just now. Shout out to all of our... Shout out to Marcus Garvey. Shout out to Noble Drew Ali. Shout out to Elijah Muhammad. Shout out to the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. Shout out to Sister Asada Shakur. I'm sorry, Asada Alubala Shakur. Shout out to Brother Mandela, who spent 27 years of his fucking life in prison for his cause. You know? Angela Davis, Brother Dick Gregory. Shout out to all of our people, man. You know, shout out to all the people whose plight isn't as pretty. You know? Yeah. Shout out to all the shout out to the black plight, period. You know what I mean? Shout out to you. Shit, shout out to me. Shout out to our children. You know? Yeah. Yeah, man. So yeah, I'm out of here. Till next time, man. I love y'all. Love yourself. Oh. Almost forgot. The Love Doc. As you can tell, the Love Doc isn't... I haven't posted it or said anything about it. In fact, I haven't even done a podcast since the last one. The Love Doc is taking and going to take longer than I thought. And it's a lot harder than the Chess Club documentary, the Skill Youth Chess Club documentary. Way harder. Because this one, I'm on other people's time. There's lighting. See, the lighting on this isn't so good. So the light that I did invest in, I guess it is not necessarily as advertised. It's not as bright as it advertised. So my rusty trusty mic, I even got a new mic on top of my rig, and not as advertised. It doesn't have the range that I thought it did. So if I was using that mic right now, you wouldn't be able to hear me as well as you can hear me now. So it's still a work in progress. In fact, I've decided that I'm going to take my time. But it's still a work in progress. The Love Doc is going to be some epic shit. The interviews I got lined up, it's going to be some epic shit. And it's going to be epic. So it's still in the works. Bear with me. Please be patient. But the Love documentary is on its way. The docu-film is on its way. I'm not necessarily sure when. I can give you a ballpark figure and say maybe the spring, maybe the summer. I don't know. I'm taking my time. But it's going to be some epic shit. So yeah, I wanted to put that out there. And not to mention, in this Love documentary, I've got some things that I want to reveal. And for those of you who know, you know. Yeah, I'm not going to make a documentary about love and not to a degree, expose myself as well. I'm gonna keep it trill. I'm gonna keep it for real. I'm gonna keep it authentic, right? So yeah, the Love Doc is on its way. Thank you for being patient. Thank you for listening to Hoodies the podcast. This is session 38. Thank you in advance for your donation. Thank you all y'all for watching. And yeah, man, until next time, love yourselves. Be good to one another. And again, Black History Month is every month. Black Power, Black Salute. Love the children, protect the women. Let's protect each other, man. Word. Till next time, I'm King Rashidi, and this is Hoodies. Aight?
To the podcast. What am I talking about? Who?
Always the forefront. This King Rashidi. Hoodies.
I'm ready. God King. God Queen.
Hello. Hello. Hello.
And to have a sexual conversation, be having a sexual conversation with kids like that on an ongoing, is inappropriate. That ain't really a conversation for y'all.
Yes, it is.
No, my Christian ears can't handle it.
No, you're saying of course it is, but then when somebody say a trauma, you laugh, right? Because when
I
psychology,
didn't like it.
you,
I like,
you said with an inflection, you said trauma, and then everybody responded to the way you inflected it. So, if 97% of psychiatrists agree that, hey, a lot of these things had childhood trauma. A lot of these women who want to be men were compromised by somebody that they trusted. And a lot of them will, just like animals in nature, they become what their predator is to kind of cloak themselves. That makes them a different target. That's why some non-poisonous snakes emulate poisonous snakes.
Wow.
Some butterflies
I thought of the
who are
coral snake,
non-poisonous will emanate a poisonous butterfly so that they don't get eaten by predators.
Right.
Some people do that.
yeah. But, I mean, we have to respect it. We don't have no choice though.
No, baby, you don't. What happens is these adults play these games with y'all. They tell y'all these things. We'll play these games that you shouldn't be a part of at all, and they'll say, well, you should respect that. Right? Like bigotry, you should expect. You can't find a bigot nowhere in America now. You can only find conservatives, right? But so they'll tell you, well, you should respect my opinion. Now, meanwhile, they're telling their child they shouldn't touch you. You're inferior. You don't take baths. They're telling you all these bad things, but you need to respect their difference of opinion. They're giving you those talking points. Those are adult talking points that you're giving back to me that have no basis in a child conversation. None at all.